Running a little late today. Hey, what's up, Alexxus?
Hey, hey.
Trying to get my stand set up right. Hold up.
Oh, you fancy.
Gotta be able to hold this phone. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm in the middle of moving something crazy.
Oh, you moving right now?
Yeah, we've been moving for like the last 2 weeks. We just kind of like upped and moved.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You moved back to VA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's up? What's up? Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining for me for the master class. We let people get a little bit of time to come in. I don't know what's going on.
How are you? Are you
I'm,
still in Texas?
yeah. I'm in Texas. I'm back in Texas now. I'm doing good. I'm
What's the
doing.
weather?
It was cold last night. Like
Is
I
it
went
cold,
outside. Huh?
cold out there?
I didn't know it got cold out here. Like I knew it got cold in like Dallas, but I didn't know it got cold in Austin. So yeah, it was cold last night. It was like 40. Went outside. I was like, dang. Like when I went to go get my
Or,
milkshake, yeah, it was like 40 degrees outside.
dang, I wanted to go to Texas because I thought it's not.
Yeah, like not in the wintertime. I mean, it's not like VA cold to where it's gonna be like real cold where it's like snowing and stuff. But I know in Dallas they be having like ice storms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
What's up, Ramon?
Happy Friday,
Hey,
everybody.
Meg. Yeah,
Happy,
happy Friday. What'd you say?
happy finance days.
Yeah, we back again another Friday. Yeah, let me tweet this out real quick.
Hmm.
Let me see. Let's see. Oh, I could have sworn I just sent you a tweet out not too long ago. There we go. All right, well, whoever's here, they going to join us. If not, whatever. But yeah, so everybody who's here, thank you for coming out for another Finance Fridays. And if you were at my master's class last night, thank you for attending. I appreciate everybody who was able to come out. So that was great. My SLS, Your 100K Year program, group coaching has started. If you're interested in that, you can go learn more about it at join.your100kyear.com. So you can definitely check that out. But yeah, let's get into Alexxus and just can you tell us like who you are, where you're from, and then we'll get into your story. Like I want people to understand like the background because people keep saying like, "Oh, y'all so out of touch," but they don't understand where we came from. Like it's not like it's been like this forever.
Thanks. So I'm a I grew up in Virginia. Um, and let's see, I was in the army and about maybe 2 years ago, and my journey has been growing ever since. Really,
Yeah, so can you just tell us like about, how it was growing up and, how you got to where you are now?
yeah, of course. So, growing up, my dad, well, both my parents were in the military. I was in the military, and we had, but I was never really taught like real financial. I kind of learned it from watching what I didn't want to happen. So growing up, I had stuff, but I didn't realize that. Our parents didn't. They didn't really know much about like saving, 10, 20% of your income. So I grew up. I was a regular kid. I was a regular person. I mean, I was regular. I didn't get a pair of Jordans until I was in like the 12th grade. Like I used to want Jordans so bad. My parents were like, "Those are too expensive. You're getting some Adidas." I'm like, "All right, whatever, whatever." So when people say, spoiled, it was just like, I guess from what they saw, like Jordans. A lot of people had Jordans for middle school. I didn't get my first pair until high school, so I was a regular old kid.
Right, right. And you're from Virginia too, right? Yeah. You said you're from
Yeah.
Virginia? Yep. So you from Hampton. So we all from like the same, my mom's from Hampton. So we all from like the same like area. So it's not like people be thinking like, you was raised with a silver spoon. It's not like that. Like,
I'm from Jamaica. So like there was no silver spoon, there was no any of that. It was just they had to do, they did what they could for us. So we were taken care of. But it wasn't like I grew up in Beverly Hills or nothing crazy like that. Like I ain't that's not what how it went down. So
hey Alexis, do you have like some headphones or something like that? I think some people are saying you're cutting out.
can you hear me?
It says
Let me
like they
see.
said the live skipping and cutting out. I'm not sure.
I'm moving, y'all. I'm moving. I'm sorry. Let me see if I have my AirPods or something. Hopefully. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? I
Yeah,
don't know what my
they
stuff
say
is.
you're going in and out. Maybe your AirPods will help it out.
You gotta find them. You're making me work today.
It's all good.
I got them. Let's see if this works. I need to get new AirPods. So I feel like after a while they like get real quiet and I can't hear no more. How about now? Can y'all hear me better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, like I grew up regular. My dad, he's from Jamaica, so it's not really rich over there. They came over and pretty much started a new life. He joined the military. Unfortunately, he didn't know about all the benefits that I knew about, so I'm kind of just trying to teach people as I go, really. So
Yeah, so how long were you in the military for?
6 years. I was in for 6 years.
You did your 6 years and you got out?
I got the heck up out of there. Well, they kicked me out actually. I got injured and they kicked me out. They medically retired me, which was dope. So
So you get the like the monthly benefits and stuff?
I surely do for the rest of
You
my
get the
life.
disability, those
Oh
checks.
yeah, I get all of that. I go to school. I'm only in school because they pay for it, and I get paid to go to school. That's the only
Mhm.
reason.
Yeah, the military has so many benefits. Like people, they don't realize. Like I joke about it on Twitter all the time. Like if you see me in the Air Force, just know I'm trying to finesse some benefits. Like so,
Man, the benefits are insane. Like I don't recommend anybody to go in just to go in, but like for me, I just knew I didn't want to have a whole bunch of student loan debt. I didn't want to be a broke college student. I wanted nice things. So, at 18, I was making the most money I had ever made in my life. So I was like, if I was in school right now, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, and this is big myth that you can't go to school if you're active duty, which I did while I was active duty and it was paid for. So I left without any student loan debt.
right. So like let's get into like some myths about the military because I feel like a lot of people they just everything. There's a lot of misinformation out there and just a lot of lies. So what are like a few myths and something that like vets can take advantage of who got out of the military?
So one of the myths is that you can't go to school while you're active duty. So they actually have this the TA program, tuition assistance, and you get so many credit hours per year that they will pay for. And then you're still eligible to get like your refund check from school, like your financial aid and stuff like that. Um, what's another myth? That you can't get certifications while you're in. The military actually provides free classes to go get certified. Like they have something called the schoolhouse for all the nerds, all the people that were in signal, which is tech on the civilian side. So like they had a schoolhouse you can go and get your A plus, your net plus, and your site plus back to back to back. And then depending on like the role you had in the organization, you can get your CAS, your CISSP. Like I got my fiber certification. I didn't even know fiber. Like fiber was cool, but this was back in 2016, and I
Right.
had just got it because it was free, and I didn't want to
Right.
go to formation or
Mhm.
go running. So I was
Right.
like, let me skip here and go to class, and it worked out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I never, yeah.
It's so much
So
stuff. Like people, like people who are in the military. Like, how do I get certs? I'm like, that should be something that's very easy to do. You can get a bunch of certs, especially
man,
if you're
what?
already in tech. You doing
They're
tech stuff in
free.
the military. Yeah, it's all free.
They're free.
Um,
Let me tell you, somebody
uh,
failed their Sec Plus test 4 times, and the Army paid for them 4 times to go take that test. And
Wow.
like, where can you do that in the civilian sector? You know what I'm saying? Like, you take advantage of it. Like, take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a lot of people. They just don't take advantage of any of the educational assistance programs that these companies or the military has. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
don't. They don't take advantage of it. Like I was talking about on the master class. Like you can. There's people who work at Walmart that are getting a bachelor's for free. Like
Yeah. Starbucks
take
is another
advantage.
one. Like,
Starbucks, right? All these places. Like you can get your degree
yeah.
for free. So why aren't you getting it? Like there's
I think
really
it's a
no.
pride thing. I think it's like, I don't want to work at Walmart. I'm like, shoot, I'll work at Walmart part time if I was trying to get my degree or my cert or something like that. And somebody
Right.
said about a myth about you'd be better off. I will say that you will be better off if you properly plan for it. And that's with anything in life though. That's literally with anything in life. You just have to plan for it. I mean, I won't
Yeah.
say it's a myth that you'll be better off because I mean, you have your health insurance, you have life insurance, you have just different stuff. So you kind of, I will say you'll be better off, but yeah, you do have to make sure that you do the right thing. You can't get kicked out for no bad stuff.
Right, right. And like depending on if you're gonna be better off, it depends on your situation. Like where are you now? What are you trying to do? Like if you feel like, you don't have anything going for you, the military might be the best thing for you. Because if you can score well, get into one of those tech
hmm
programs or get into the tech MOSs, like you're good to go. Like you're set. So
Yeah.
changes your
Yeah, and
life.
while you're in, and
Hmm.
while I think, oh, here's another myth I want to break. When you get in, now I can't speak for all the branches, but I was in the army, right? So some people think that your entry job is the only job that you can have, which isn't true because you can change your MOS, you can change your job. Like I know somebody who changed their job like 3 times. Like
Wow,
I
three
think they
times?
did like fuel. I think they did fuel, whatever, like the fuel. Not it wasn't like a great job. Um, and then he did truck driving, and then he went into tech. He went into tech. He got his security plus. He
Hmm.
got his clearance, and now he making
Good
a lot
money.
of money.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
good money. Yeah, and then about the clearances, like it's a myth that you have to be in the military to have a clearance. Like,
Oh yeah, that's definitely not.
yeah, yeah, I've never
I
been
know
in the
people in the military
military.
who don't have a clearance, so you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I got my first clearance at 18. I've never been in the military, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
just all
dope.
about finding a company that's going to sponsor you. So you don't have to go to the military. Somebody said they
Yeah.
heard the Air Force is good. I'm biased
Hell
because
yeah,
my
go
dad.
to the Air Force.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
my
me tell
dad
you
did
why I
20
didn't go to the
years.
Air Force.
Huh?
20, you said 20 years?
Yeah, he did 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
amazing.
retired. He retired from the Pentagon in 2000. So, like right a
Dang.
year before 9/11, he retired.
Wow. That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, he did 20 years, and like in my opinion, like if you're just trying to get in there, do tech or something like that, the Air Force is definitely the best. But you have to score well, and
Yeah.
you just have to be you got to be ready for that. But I mean, I look at what they doing on these army bases. Like when I go to work at Fort Hood, I'm
Man,
like,
look, that shit was
they got
hard.
y'all working. I'm like, what's going on here?
I don't even
Like,
understand. Like it was ridiculous, honestly. The only reason I didn't go into the Air Force, I was impatient. Like my dad, he was in the Navy. He was in the Navy for 24 years. He was a Navy SEAL. My mom went into the Air Force. She was in Guam. Like she spent her birthdays in Guam on
mhm.
a deployment. My dad, he was on a ship somewhere. I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I know I didn't want to go to the Marines. The Coast Guard is like it's a real well-known secret, but that's probably the best one too. But I was just impatient. You know, the Air Force like, well, you have to wait a year before you can leave. I was like, I'm trying to go now. Like when I
Uh,
was 17, I was in the recruiting office like, Dad, sign my paperwork, please, so I can go.
right.
Um, yeah, I was just impatient because I was like, if I don't go now, I'm gonna get complacent. I was at home, I just graduated, I was around my friends, like I was like, if I don't go now, I'm not gonna go. Like, let me go now.
Yeah, yeah, for
But the
sure.
Air Force is definitely like,
And then somebody asked, what about getting a clearance with student loans? So you can get a clearance with student loans. The thing when it comes to debt, that's going to hurt your clearance is um, if you have a bunch of consumer debt. So like credit card debts, you got like 50, 60,000 in credit card debt. You got a bunch of personal loans. Like if you have too much debt, that's outside of like student loans, for sure, you're going to be looked at as high risk and somebody who can be
mhm.
blackmailed. So you can be blackmailed or either bought out. So one of the two, well, technically bought out, really. So it's like you got so much debt. somebody can come to you and be like, hey, you steal some secrets for us. Um, we'll give you enough money to pay off all your debt. A lot of people who are like deep in debt will go for it. So that's why you can't get a clearance. Like really all the clearance is about is just making sure you aren't going to be a threat to the US and like sell the US secrets. That's really all it's about.
It's the same thing if you're active too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you in the military and you rack up a whole bunch of debt and you're not paying your bills on time, oh, somebody's gonna come talk to you. They're gonna say you gotta pay. Like you could lose your clearance. Like it's not a joke because it happens.
Mm-hmm.
People don't hear about it happening, so they don't like know. But it happens a lot. When you go through those trainings, you're like, wow. So.
Mm. Yeah, somebody asked, is there an age limit for going to the military?
Every branch has a different age limit. Um, I don't even know what the cutoffs are now. They changed so much, but I think the Air Force is the most strict with their age limit, maybe. I would think. Um, I could look it up real quick though. But yeah, every branch is different. Every branch has different requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So you have to be between 17 and 32 years old for the Army.
Alexxus, she was in the Army.
Yeah, I was in the Army. I wish I would went to Air Force, but whatever. Oh, the Air Force says um 39. So you can't be older than 39. So 17 to 38, I would say. So maybe they are the same now. But I know at one point I think the Air Force was way more strict.
Mm.
But
Somebody asked, what did you do while you were in the military? What was your MOS?
I was a 25 uniform. Whoop whoop. I was a signal support specialist. So it was pretty much I was pretty much a computer help desk. I did, let's see, I did a lot of networking. I ran cables, pretty much all of it. And that's the thing, like once you get into your job and stuff, you're in a room with people with different jobs, but you're gonna do the same thing. So you cross train anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned a lot. Like I really learned a lot. I was in there with people who did cybersecurity, like all types of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, people who aren't in like the government space, government military space, they probably don't know nothing about cross training. So, cross training is basically where
Oh, I'm sorry.
everybody trains each other. Like, basically, it's like so you have backfield support and stuff like that. Everybody can help out each other. So, it's kind of the same thing with the defense contracting. Like, for us, like we cross train a lot too to make sure that we have coverage if somebody needs to go on PTO or something like that. So,
Hmm.
it's a lot of cross training for sure. Um, Somebody just asked, what's the process of getting a top secret with a poly if you're 22 or younger, or no, if you're 22 years old, you're gonna have to find a company that's gonna sponsor you for a polygraph. And if you want to know exactly how to do that, you should check out my defense industry guide, and you can find that at defenseindustry.guide. So that's what I suggest you to do. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to find it because that's stuff that I worked hard figuring it out, and I have a whole guide to help you end up landing a job in the defense industry. So you can definitely check that out. But yeah, let's get into the stock investing stuff that people probably came in here for. So like,
Yeah.
you were on Twitter putting up your stock gains, and like you end up posting a screenshot where I guess one of your stocks or your portfolio was up 3,600%. And for people who don't understand how much money that is, that means like she basically 36 times her money with whatever it with the stock. So it's like $1 turned into $36. So for every dollar, it was multiplied by 36. So can you talk about that? Like, can you talk about your stock trading and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's see. I started investing when I was 18 years old. Um, I was active duty, so I used the TSP, the thrift savings plan. That was my first like my 401k type of thing. So fast forward to now, and I know somebody was mad that I crossed out the dollar amount, but the thing is, people don't realize, and you said it before, the dollar amount doesn't really matter
It don't
at
matter.
all. Like it
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter. But so I actually wrote down my top five that I know people want to know about. So let's see. I invested so Hertz. Oh man, Hertz a long time ago. I posted on the timeline how I kind of pimped them out. So they were going bankrupt, right? They were going bankrupt, and I think I grabbed them at like 80 cents. And this is around the time where all the travel industries were getting bailed out and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I was like,
Hmm.
somebody might can do something with Hertz. So I bought like a whole bunch of shares, like a couple thousand shares of Hertz. And it just so happened that next week, maybe 2 weeks later, it jumped up to like $6.
Yeah.
But I actually sold like around $4.
Uh-huh. Which was
So that was
good
like,
because I kept telling my cousin,
yeah,
I kept telling him, I'm like, sell your Hertz. He's like, oh, it's
yeah,
gonna go up, it's gonna go up. I'm like, get out of that. I was like, they're going bankrupt, they got a bunch of debt. I was like, get out, like, get out. Like,
yeah,
I was like, people just really the only reason why Hertz went up was because a bunch of like Robin Hood traders, like they didn't
yeah,
really understand what was going on and they saw it was
yeah.
so cheap and they bought it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's really all that happened with Hertz. Like nothing changed
Yeah.
with them at all. Like people just
They're still
saw,
going bankrupt.
yeah, people just saw it was 80 cents. It was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna buy it. And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of my new favorite plays. Like with AMC. AMC, you know, they're going bankrupt or whatever's going on with them, and their stock tanked. Like I think I ended up buying an option contract. Like they were acting like AMC was gonna go out of business, and I'm like, you know, somebody gonna end up buying them or doing something. And I
Yeah.
ended up getting an option contract, and it went up like 200% within a
See?
week. Like within a week. Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
Brittany? What's up? But yeah, like that's one of my new favorite plays because somebody, when these companies, like it's a bunch of bad news, somebody's gonna end up either like saving them if it's a like older company. This company's been around for a while. Somebody's gonna end up saving them, or the Robin Hood traders are gonna end up putting money
Because,
into it and it's gonna jump. So, like
yeah.
from now
Somebody
on,
was
that's
like,
like
cause
a for sure bet, huh?
yeah, I had grabbed Boeing. I had grabbed some more Boeing in March too. I think it tanked to $91. And somebody was
Yeah,
like, Boeing is not good. You need to sell it. And Boeing now is like at two something. I'm
yeah,
like, who's
yeah,
selling Boeing? Like, why?
yeah.
Like, why would I sell that?
Yeah, I messed up on that one for sure. Cause like Boeing, it was at like I think their high was like 450, and they dropped
Mm-hmm.
down to $90. Like so, that's automatically more than you. If they get back up to their all-time high, you could four times your money, more than four times it.
Exactly. Let's see what else. Tesla. So in March, Tesla tanked. This is before the split. So pre-split,
Hmm.
it
Yep.
tanked to like $300.
Yeah.
And then it ended up going up to like almost 2,000, or maybe it did hit
Yeah.
3,000.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was up. Like I had over 500% gain on that just from that. Novavax, people don't know. So when the vaccine hit, I mean when COVID hit,
Yep.
right? It hit before March. It's just
Hmm.
that everything reacted in March, right?
Yeah.
So where I was working at, which I can't disclose too much, all we did was listen to the news. So we heard like there might be a pandemic, there might be something. So the first thing, because I was the only one in there that traded or did stocks, so we're
Mhm.
like, oh, we need to get like those pharmaceutical, the vaccine companies, and all of that.
Yeah.
So I ended up grabbing INO at $3,
Hmm.
which that play broke my heart. But Novavax was only $4, right?
Yeah.
And then it got up to $167.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
from
think they're at like
$3 to
130 or 140 now.
167.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, yeah. Someone said
Yeah.
pharma stocks. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like the pharma stocks because it's just to me it's so speculative. It's just all
It
like,
is
oh, is this company gonna be the one they pick for the vaccine, or is this
like
company the one
Russian
they gonna
roulette.
pick? Yeah, it's really like playing the lottery in my opinion when it comes to those pharma stocks. Like unless Trump or the president says like, oh, we going with so and so, that's the only way you gonna actually know.
Like
Like, okay.
Kodak.
Yeah, like Kodak, exactly. Kodak was another one of those stocks. Like Trump, like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Kodak do the vaccine. Like what? And that stock went stupid. Like
Yeah.
it went stupid.
Let's see. Let's see. What's another big one?
Overstock,
Um,
right?
Overstock. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably one of my biggest plays this year. So I grabbed Overstock around $2.60. Um, so in my mind, I was thinking, okay, everything's shutting down,
yeah,
storefronts are shutting down, but people are getting unemployment checks, people, the stimulus check, everything was just kind of like pumping for consumers, right? I grabbed Overstock, and I knew the holidays were coming. And I ain't gonna be in the store shopping during the holidays. And I order everything offline. So I was like, let me start with something I know. So Overstock 260. Overstock shot up to like above $120. So that right there was like
crazy,
what, 4,000%? Like,
insane. Like that's insane.
yeah.
That's
And
insane.
Wayfair was the same way. Wayfair was
Yeah,
like $30, and they shot up to what, 350 or something like that. So
crazy.
it's almost, you just have to shift your mindset when it comes to like investing. You have to
Yeah.
see what's going on. Like right now, with the vaccine, they have to be stored at a certain temperature, right? So
Hmm.
right now, you should be looking at what company can store this vaccine at this temperature. How are they going to carry it? How are they going to keep it cold?
Hmm.
What parts are they using? Like how are they going to transport it? That's the kind of stuff that you have to start thinking about
Yeah.
before everybody gets on the wagon. That's how
Hmm.
you stay ahead and don't miss out and don't lose money because you waited till the top to invest and then it tanks. Because this stuff
Right.
isn't going to stay up. Like eventually, it's going to go back down when the
Hmm.
vaccine goes out and they say that people are recovering or whoever takes it or whatever. Guess what's going to be popping then? Travel industry. So you're going to
Yep.
see more of your Americans, your
Hmm.
Deltas, maybe your cruises, your casinos. Like
He's
that's
gonna
kind of
come
how, like,
back.
yeah, it's just a search. It just keeps going. Like it's just, yeah. Zoom was another one because where I
Oh
was
yeah.
working at, I helped. So I did Zoom, but on the government side, so it wasn't Zoom. But I just
It's
knew
the
like people
federal
were
zone,
doing,
right?
yeah,
Oh, you did the
yeah. So
other
like,
zone? There's another one?
no, 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 no. Like on the military side, they can't use Zoom because of the security risks and stuff like
Oh
that. So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. I know
yeah.
I know my
So
company, we just started using like federal Zoom or whatever. And I was like, dang, Zoom really is
uh,
like taking over. Yeah, we using
see,
federal.
I'm not at that company anymore, so I don't even know what they're using. But at
Uh-huh.
the time, we were creating bridges for them to talk on, like for secret and unsecret or
Yeah.
unclass and stuff like that.
Hmm.
No, it's not Teams. Team is only for unclassified, so we didn't really use Teams. I can't really talk about it, but
Right.
when I heard that everything was going, universities, preschool, kindergarten, middle school, everything was going to online learning. So it's like Zoom is gonna blow up. And what does Zoom do? Zoom
It
blew
blew up.
up. So it's just like you just have to think. You have to think ahead
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stay
Look,
ahead.
Zoom, I didn't even know that their prices was crazy like that. Like when I
Oh
had did my
yeah.
master class, I used Zoom webinar for to hold a class with just 3,000 people is $1,000 a month. So I paid $1,000 for y'all to come in that master class for free for it. So
Mm.
like it's crazy, but that's just for 3,000 people. So when you start looking at universities and stuff like that, the plans go up to like $100,000, two hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollars for the year for the whole year.
Mhm.
Like it's insane. Like Zoom. I really think is gonna be just a big company forever. Some people are like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna go back in, but not really. Like some stuff is always gonna
No,
be
you're not.
online, and like Zoom is the clear winner when it comes to having online meetings and webinars and all that kind of stuff. Zoom's
Mhm.
the winner. So they set in the market, they set in the price, and like I mean, it works very well. What's up, Uncle
Yeah.
Andy? How you doing?
Yeah, so that's kind of, those are like some of the things in my portfolio that just kind of exploded this year. And it's just so funny when people say you can't have 3,000%. And I'm like, have you seen what the market has been doing?
Been
Like
going
it's like I have
stupid.
over 3,000 if you want to be honest, but
It's been
yeah.
going it's been going crazy, and like that's what I was saying on the master class too. Like when it comes to investing, you have to start looking at the world through an investor's lens. Like you got to start
Hmm.
analyzing opportunities. Just like you said, how'd you know Zoom was going to pop? Oh, everybody's going online. Boom, you thinking like an investor, not like a consumer. So and then with all the other examples you had too, same thing. You already knew like people going to spend money. Everybody was moving. That's what surprised me. Like when COVID first hit, moving went through the roof. Like I don't know
Hmm.
if like I don't know if there's moving company like stocks, but moving went through the roof, and obviously furniture did too. So people were buying new furniture. They were moving. And then what's another one too? Oh yeah, guns. Guns went crazy. Like the
Oh
supply chain
yeah.
all messed up. So I think it was Smith and Wesson or one of those stocks. Like they went crazy. Like one of those gun stocks
Hmm.
went like stupid.
Yeah, it's like you say, you have to think like an investor. You have to like see what the problem is, find where the solution is, and invest in it. Like
Yeah.
that's just how I do it. It's always that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always going to be like that. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. Like when it comes to where the money is flowing, it's going to be where to like what's the next opportunity? Like we got a problem, how we going to solve it? So
Mhm.
Groovy Kid, he asked just to make sure the stocks he needs to look into is like transportation and travel.
I'm not. I can't give any advice. I can't give any investing advice. But no, I wouldn't say that. Like, okay, so in my mind, this is how it works, right? COVID is here. People really aren't traveling. Okay, when COVID is not here anymore, people are
Mhm.
going to start traveling.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to see what you have to connect the pieces from there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I don't know if people saw this, but like over Thanksgiving, that was the highest travel since COVID started for the amount of flights. Thanksgiving, from I guess it was all like last week or whatever. That was the most travel since COVID started. So, like we said, you have to find the opportunities. Like what stocks are down right now because of COVID? Like they're gonna
Mhm.
come back. You know, it's not like they're gonna be down
Yeah.
forever. Like they're gonna come back. So they would have to literally ban cruises for cruises to be just die off.
Yeah.
Like one of these airline companies would have to literally go out of business for them to just die off. And at this point, it's very clear they're not letting anybody go out of business. And even Boeing, the government wanted to buy into them, and Boeing CEO said no, like you can't buy into our company. We'll find funding elsewhere. So
Yeah. I remember that.
that would have been insane. Like if the government would have been able to buy into Boeing, like that would have changed the landscape for all the like aircrafts and stuff that the
Mhm.
military needs and the government needs. Like that would have changed everything.
Yeah, I just tell people look at like I don't say watch the news every day because that's depressing or all day, but you need to know your current events. And you need to know your current events for more than just where you're at.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
people
it's
were starting so many businesses. Alibaba went crazy. Like
yep.
everybody starting businesses and manufacturers, and they're wholesaling from from overseas. So who are these overseas manufacturers? Alibaba, AliExpress, and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
you have to pay attention.
Yeah, yeah, that and yeah, just like you said, you know, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Like that's how we knew COVID was coming. Like everybody's like, "How y'all know COVID was coming?" See, I knew it was coming, but I didn't take enough action. All I did was go buy a couple guns and some bullets, but I should have been buying stocks, like, and I should have bought way more
Yeah.
bullets. But
Man, I
like,
should have bought was it like the Lysol? Like I should have bought cleaning supply. If I would have bought those stocks, oh, I'd be out of here. I'll be retired.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's just, you know, you just have to pay attention to what's happening in the world. Like I was saying before, we knew it was coming because COVID has been in China since like October of last year. So everybody's like, well, how y'all know what's coming? We paying attention to what's going on in the world. Like Twitter is the easiest way to keep up with like your current events. All you gotta do is follow like a Chinese news company on Twitter, or just follow some like Chinese or Asian people, and you will figure out exactly what's going on in the world. You just follow them. They're talking about their current events. We're talking about our
Hmm.
current events. But it's just good to know what is happening around. Like even in Europe, like a lot of people don't know, like their dollar out there is like the euro is getting killed. Like they have negative interest
Hmm.
rates. You know, it's bad. People are wondering why Bitcoin's going up because the global economic situation is just bad all the way around. You know, like even in the states, we're down to damn near we're almost at 0% interest basically for the Fed,
Yeah.
and they just keep printing more and more money. So the dollar is supposed to actually be dropping in value by 20% next year. That's what analysts are projecting. So you know you need to make sure you figure out, okay, where can I put my money, because like if the value of the dollar drops, the cost of things are gonna for sure go up. Your buying power goes down. So like when it's
Hmm.
time to buy stuff, you really you got to spend more money. So it's
Yeah.
basically like inflation. That's what it is. So
Somebody said something about they went to the ATM and got I think they tried to take out $500. They didn't have $100 bills.
yeah.
They gave it to them in 20s. Like I'm like, if y'all don't see what's going on,
Mhm.
then I don't know. I can't. I can't hold your hand. You have to make your own decisions, but
Right.
you gotta pay attention.
Right, yeah, yeah. We can't like give you direct financial advice because we aren't financial advisors, so we can't give you like direct financial advice to like what you should buy and stuff like that. What I will say is just do your own research. Like make sure you're doing your own research and keeping your mind open. Like just pay attention to what's going on. Just like Alexxus said, pay attention. Like you see something, don't just say, "Oh, okay," or don't just scroll by it. Like really Twitter is what helps me the most. Like if you follow more people and more like current event pages, you'll be able to keep up with what's going on, you know? Like I retweet stuff all the time like, "Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I'm going to come back to this. Oh, you need to pay attention." Like, "Oh, Adrian's page is good to follow too." If you really want to know what's
Totally.
going on, follow Adrian. His Twitter is A over K. So you follow him, he's gonna definitely let you know exactly what's going on in the world. So let me
I bought his book, and it was just like mind blowing. I was just like, wow.
yeah, he has some good
Wow.
books. I can't remember what it's exactly called, but basically telling you like what's gonna happen in the future, like in
Is it
2050.
Profit from Possibilities?
Yeah, Profit from
Yeah,
Possibilities. Yep.
that's the one I got.
Yep.
So, but I
Yes.
will
That
say
was
this:
me.
if you are in the military, if you're active duty, I can't say for every base, but the base I was at, they had like financial advisors on the base.
Mhm.
I used to go to this guy. He used to help me with like my budget. I know we hate the word budget, but back then I didn't know like money allocation. I was just like, look, this is where I want to be,
Uh,
and this is how I need to get here. This is what I got, and yeah, he helped me like for free. Like utilize these resources. I'm telling you, utilize them.
yep. Too many resources. You gotta utilize them. Chanel, you're asking should you invest directly in gold? I would just say gold is good, silver is good, Bitcoin all very good. Like all like not all cryptos. Like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, you won't mess with that, but like Bitcoin for sure, like safe bet. But yeah, that's really how you hedge. I guess some other hedges. I don't know if stocks could really hedge against it. It depends on what stocks you're putting your money in. Like I know Dollar General, they perform well in recessions and stuff like that. So when it comes to stocks, it's really iffy. But I do think that the fact that the dollar's going down so much, I think that a lot of people are going to be hedging their money into stocks. So I think that's where they're going to be
Yeah,
putting it. Like, because you see how much growth Tesla is having, you see how much growth Apple, Microsoft, Zoom, all these tech companies are having. Like, so it's really a good hedge. Like, the world's changing, and these companies are just growing. They keep blowing up. Amazon just blowing
yeah.
up. Like,
And I
so
always say, look how they performed in the last recession. The last like just look how they performed over the years too.
yep.
Like
Somebody,
you just kind of have to do your research, your due diligence.
yeah, somebody asked something. But yeah, but let's get into the mobile home investing. So can you talk
Oh
about that? You
yeah.
invest in mobile homes. I see you
Yeah,
climbing through a
absolutely.
window.
So it's actually so crazy because when I was younger, right, my aunt, she bought a mobile home in Tennessee, right? I knew nothing about mobile homes. Like I was from Hampton, like I didn't know about mobile homes. So anyway, I she had a lot of land, but I didn't know it was a mobile home until my mom told me. I
Uh-huh.
walked in, it was like an open kitchen. She had like a jacuzzi bath. It was nice and it was cheap and she paid it off quickly and
Yep.
she rented it out quick. So fast forward to last March, right? On the timeline, I seen Tara and mobile home babe Jasmine
Yeah.
talking about mobile homes. So I
Mhm.
was like, let me dive into this a little bit more because I we wanted to invest in properties. We wanted more like real estate properties, investments and stuff like that. But where I was at, I don't know. I wasn't ready to make that big leap, right?
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, mobile homes is a perfect one.
Mhm.
So there was so many mobile home communities where we were. Like I would turn out our neighborhood. It's like three mobile home parks to the right of us, two
Mhm.
to the left of us. They're everywhere. And we literally would just our very first one we went in, they said, we said, do you have any specials, like any investor specials?
Mhm.
And he was like, we have three. So we checked them out. They only want like $1,000 for them. Some of them they was gonna give them to
Wow.
us for free. Yeah, like for free. So it's just like we can do that. Like we can do that easily. So that's pretty much how we got started in mobile homes. And then we kind of grew our brand a lot faster than we expected. We had put up a picture of one of ours on Craigslist, and we
Mhm.
had like over 20 people inquire to be on our wait list. So like
Oh
we
wow.
had a longer wait list than we had property. So then it was like, oh, we got to play catch up.
Right.
So it was just mobile home investing. I would definitely say if you're trying to get your foot into real estate, and you don't want to, go outright and buy a single family property or, multi-family property, try a mobile home. Get your feet wet, see what it's like to flip a property, see what it's like to walk through when people don't care about where they live at and stuff like that. Like, see how you can flip it. The money, use that money, flip another one, or become
Yep.
a landlord, or I say that's the easiest way to get into real estate, honestly, because without wholesaling, besides wholesaling, because your risk is a lot lower. Like you might get one for $1,000, you might put 5,000 into it. That's 6 bands, right? You can sell it for, I say, about 10 to 12,000, because most people can have that cash on hand, depending on what you do to it. And you just make your money back and then some, and then go over, keep going. Um, and you don't, and mobile homes don't require the same inspections that single family homes do before you can like sell it or buy it or something like that. So, and you can rent out to HUD, um, Section 8 housing and stuff like that. Like the possibilities are truly endless. So
Right.
I definitely say test it
Yeah.
out if you're interested.
Yeah. Mobile homes are a really good way to get into real estate. Chanel, you asked if you can use VA home loans. I don't think you can use loans at all on mobile homes, can you? You have to. I don't think
Banks don't typically give out loans on a
you
mobile
can.
home,
Yeah, because mobile
unfortunately.
homes are typically really cheap. Like when people buy mobile
Yeah,
homes, they're usually buying them under $20,000. Like for the
yeah.
most part, and then if people are buying one for like 40,000 or something like that, what they do is they do seller financing typically.
Mhm.
And seller financing is when, so you say you want to go buy a mobile home, you go to the person who owns it, they basically write up like a contract for you, and you pay them every month as if it's kind of like a mortgage, and then you pay them
Mhm.
until it's paid off. So whatever term you come up with, so it's like either 10 years, 15 years, but I mean it's like 40K, so probably like 5 to 10 years, like max,
Yeah.
right? So that's what a lot of people do, and then that's how a lot of people with mobile home investing get cash flow quicker too. Like say
Mhm.
if instead if you didn't flip it, you could have just rented it out to them through you could have seller financed it to them and got your money back that way. So selling it for a higher price and then getting cash flow every month. So it's different ways, different things you can do with mobile home investing. And then Gambit asked, can you do that in LA? I don't know if there are mobile homes in LA. Mobile homes are basically they're
You
trailers.
can
Like most
too.
people know a mobile home is a trailer. So
Yeah.
like double wide or single wide trailers.
Mhm.
So I don't know if they're in LA. I know in LA right now what's going to be blowing up is tiny homes. So people are building tiny homes from scratch and they're putting them on Airbnb. And some people are making a killing with that. Like because tiny homes are a fraction of the cost of a regular home out in LA, out in California. So I've seen some people making a killing from building tiny homes out there.
Yeah, just build a whole tiny home community. You set for life.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's a lot cheaper. I'm saying, like, I know. I think this is the problem. I think people see somebody doing something. So people will see somebody flip a house, right? But they don't realize that they bought that house for maybe 60,000 and then put another 40 to 50,000 into it.
yep.
So unless you have that cash on hand, or if you want to, I guess, get a loan,
Yeah,
but
use
I
a hard
mean,
money lender.
yeah, I mean you can, but if you're not ready for that step, if that's not for you, start small. There's nothing wrong with starting smaller and building your way up. There's nothing wrong with that. At least you know what to look for. Like the basics of the housing and how that works out. I mean, you just get your feet wet. Because I'd rather lose 6,000 than lose 160,000. Like,
Right, right. Yeah, and that's something too. Like a lot of people where they get messed up is like they're always comparing themselves to like investors who've been investing for years. Like if you're just starting out, you can't compare yourself to somebody who's been investing for years. Like just like you said, you got to start small and then work your way up. Like starting small, that's great for you. Like if you end up making $1,000, $2,000 on flipping a mobile home or something, that's great. You get a mobile home and then you're able to like rent it out to somebody or sell it, finance it,
hmm
get cash flow. Again, that's also great. Like it's not a bad thing to do. Like you just have to focus on yourself and focus on where you are in life and stop comparing yourself to other people. Like people get too caught up in comparing themselves. Like it's crazy. Like people will
it's
see
not a
like
race.
yeah, people will see D on the timeline. They're like, "Oh, I'll never be able to get to where you are," or like, what I'm doing is nothing compared to you. Like, stop comparing yourself to him. Like, this is your life. It's not.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be trying to compare to them. Like, it's you versus you. That's it. You should be your only competition. Like, are you doing better than what you were doing last year? If not, you need
exactly.
to work. If you are doing better, then that's great. Like, keep going.
Because my goals ain't the same as your goals, and
Hmm.
your goals isn't the same as the next person goals. Like everybody has their ideal, you know, path and their ideal finish line that they want to be at, and everybody is different, and so that requires different, things for you to do. You can't follow everybody's every single move and then expect to have the same life as them. Like, it doesn't work out like that. Like, our perspectives aren't even the same. So
Yeah.
it'll never work out like that. So I wish people would just like start small, start with something that they enjoy. But I would say real estate investment is a great investment. I'm not gonna lie about that. How you do it, that's on you. But I think that's a great investment.
Right, yeah, yeah. No matter what, I feel like everybody eventually should get into real estate. Like I posted a picture on Instagram today about like, people getting their like an investment property first. Like that just
Yeah.
having that, even if you get one property, like that's something that one investment property, that's something that can change a lot of people's lives.
Oh
That
yeah.
that kind of cash flow coming in, the appreciation over time, like that can change your life. You can go from one to two, like you've doubled your like the amount of properties
Yeah.
that you have. So, just being able to do that instead of going to get your like primary home first. Cause like if you don't have a lot of income or you aren't creative with like getting more deals, you going to go get your like primary home first and then trying to get an investment property is going to be very hard. They're going to ask you how
Yeah.
how you going to afford this
Yeah.
money. You can't.
Your debt to income ratio gonna be
Yeah,
like,
your income
woo.
ratio gonna be all messed up. That's what people don't get. Like, and I'm not saying to not buy any properties. I'm just saying your first one, maybe look at it as a house hacking deal.
Yeah.
House hack it
I'm gonna be
first.
honest with you. Your first house that your first big house that you buy as your first house, let me tell you, that first, year, 2 years later, you probably gonna be like, all right, I want something different. I'm just being honest with you because that's just how we are as humans. You
Yep.
see something that you think you want, you get it, and then it's like, dang, I want more. Now I
Yep.
want more. So,
Yep.
start small, work your way up. But I'm glad you brought that up because house hacking, military, active duty specifically,
Yep.
you can use your VA loan to house hack, right? So
Mhm.
with the VA loan, typically you're supposed to stay in the resident for 1 year before you can rent it out or sell it, right? Here's the catch. If you're active duty and you PCS before that 1 year is up, you are able to use your VA loan again when you move, as long as your credit score is good, your debt to income ratio is good. What does that mean, Alexxus? It means that if you get you a duplex for your first property, right? When you leave, you have two tenants paying. So you
Yep.
have somebody paying the mortgage, and then you have somebody paying. Either you're going to use that to pay it down faster, or you can use that to wherever you're living, right?
Mhm.
So you get to your next property, your next state, whatever, wherever you go. If you can invest in another investment property, that means when you get out, you have two or three or four if you get another duplex. You have four investment properties when you get out the military or however you do it. Like, now you have cash flow coming in, or however you strategically plan it. Um, you invested into real estate. You have four properties, like,
Yeah.
and then you have the VAIRRL loan. So it's a refinancing strategy, right? It stands for like interest reduction rate, something like that, right? The good thing about it is you don't have to pay for another home inspection. You don't have to get it appraised, nothing. Their thought behind it is, hey, veteran or active duty, if you are able to pay your mortgage on time, right, at this interest rate, then you can definitely pay at a lower interest rate. So as long as they can knock it down half a point, you can qualify for it. So if you have a 4% interest rate
Mhm.
and rates are what, like two something now, you can refinance your home if you need to. So like that's what yeah, you work with it. See, that's another gem. So
Yeah, I never even
there's a
heard of
lot of
that.
different,
I never even heard of that. So
yeah.
what is it? So basically, it's for you to refinance VA loans, or
Yeah, so it's for like veterans. It's like a, I guess, thank you for veterans.
yeah,
And basically you can refinance, right?
yeah.
But when you refinance, you don't have to worry about paying for another appraisal or another home inspection.
Mm-hmm.
They literally just say, hey, thank you for paying your bills on time for 7 to 8 months at this high ass interest rate. Now we have lower interest rates. If you've been paying this high interest rate, we know that you can pay this lower interest rate. So let's lower it down.
Oh, so they just give it to
Yeah,
you automatically.
yeah. I mean, you have to go through the process of
Yeah.
like, have to go through the process. But it's nothing like nobody comes to your house. Well, depending on
Yeah.
your lender,
That's
nobody comes
probably
to
what
your
my
house. So
dad's
if you
doing.
owe,
That's
yeah.
probably what
So if
my
you owe
dad's
from a
doing. He's
four
like, yeah, I
point to a two
refinanced once
point
already.
something.
Yeah, he
Yep.
already refinanced. He's like, yeah, I'm about to refinance again. I'm like, see, another VA benefit. Like, I can't do that. I tried to
Yeah.
refinance my
Mhm.
townhouse. Navy Federal, they said I need 25,000. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
See, I ain't going through
25K.
nothing,
Yeah,
nothing.
he was like, when he refinanced, he pays nothing. $0
Yeah,
to
matter of fact,
refinance.
I had to bring $1. I had to bring $1 to the closing table.
That's
One
crazy.
dollar. Yeah, and my interest rate got reduced by like a point and some. So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah. So our first house, we knew it was gonna be an investment property. It's right by the military base. It's
Yeah.
huge. We got it severely underpriced. We had like instant equity, like a
Mhm.
whole bunch. Our mortgage was only like $500, $600.
That's crazy. Where was this at?
Yeah, and the rent. I was in Fort Bragg area,
Oh,
Fayetteville.
oh, your mortgage was only five hundred
Yeah.
dollars.
Yes. Yes. It's insane, right? So like, and the rent for that area is going for that size house is about like maybe 15 to 1800 bucks. So
Wow.
we're just gonna let somebody pay our mortgage.
That's crazy. Yeah, but like a lot of
Yeah.
people in the military, they don't think about that at all. Like you can leave with more properties and assets. You can leave with assets and cash flow coming in. So like in my mind, even with like if you go overseas, like overseas contractors, like something I wish I would have done. I could have bought one property every year I was overseas. Easy.
That's
Easy.
all
I
you
could have
need.
easily done that. And
It
my,
adds up.
everything would have been different for me. Like everything would have been different. I would have four properties now instead of still just having one. So it's like
Hmm.
I could have easily done that. And same thing with the military. Every time you PCS, you need to be buying another property every time.
Yeah.
And buying a
Because it's
property
zero
in house
percent
that.
down. It's zero down. Why
Yeah.
like why not? It's zero down.
Yeah.
And here's another myth that I want to break. People say that you can only use a VA loan once. No. You
Mm-mm.
can continue to use your VA loan as long as you're paying your bills on time. And I think the cap rate is what, like 500 or 600,000 or something like
Mhm.
that. So as long as you're within that, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the first time I heard about that was on actually like it was on a Bigger Pockets podcast, Bigger Pockets. Like I heard it was a couple. They were saying they ended up getting like six, seven properties through their VA loans. Every time they
Hmm.
PCS, they buy a new like duplex or triplex. Like it's
Yeah.
really
And
easy.
if you dual military and you get those duplexes right next to each other, y'all got four properties every time y'all move. That's
That's
insane to
crazy.
come out the military with eight properties. Eight properties, that's crazy. Like, I don't even think people understand. I don't think people understand. So,
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Anybody have any questions? Oh, Chanel, she asked, what's the favorite state or city to buy investment properties in? Honestly, it really just depends. Like for me, I know I'm going to Cleveland. That's where I'm about to buy like most of my properties at, just because of the cash flow out there. But like what about you, Alexis?
so right now, I think we're looking into Baltimore, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
My husband's from Baltimore, so we want some properties in Baltimore. My dad wants properties in Jamaica, so we're trying to go from there. So Baltimore's our next big hit.
Yeah, yeah. Like honestly, when it comes to like buying properties, it really just depends on, what are the prices of the properties, what's the rent. So you just have to analyze all the deals. If you're in a high cost of living area like DC stuff like that, DC, LA, all those kind of places, New York, probably wouldn't make too much sense trying to get properties out there. You can go find properties cheaper. Like if you were in DC, you can buy properties in Baltimore. You could have bought properties in Richmond. Could have bought properties in Norfolk. Like there are other markets you can get into. So it's like you just got to pay attention to the other areas that are outside of where you're living at.
Somebody asked if I recommend Fayetteville. Heck yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Right before we left, we went and looked at. Well, I went to go look at three properties, and they were all under $60,000.
Wow.
And the most that they probably needed was like minor. When you buy these cheap properties, of course you're gonna have to do something to it, but it wasn't like a full gut.
Right.
It was like I maybe had to put in maybe 5 to 10 grand, and that's good. Rent it out. Like the
Yeah.
properties are so cheap out there.
VA has wild laws and taxes. I'm not sure. So I don't have any properties in VA. I know my friend, he has like seven in Norfolk. He hasn't really had any issues at all. He made a lot of money. Yeah, my friend, he bought in Norfolk, and he bought his properties for 75,000. It's been 2.5 years. They're worth 250K now.
See what I
Two and
mean?
a half
Like
years. Like they're renovate, like they're gentrifying out there, and they're just like They're
Wow.
revitalizing this area out in Norfolk, and he's killing it. Like from
And
75K to 250.
here's what I want people to understand, right? With that whole like I hear gentrification, like you're buying all these properties and it's like no. It's gonna get bought out regardless.
Yep.
So what community do you want it to stay into? That's the question at the end of the day. Like it's gonna get bought out regardless. So
Hmm.
who do you want to own it? Like
Yeah.
which community? So not like I want to just I'm so sick of hearing that. Like and people don't realize like once you're a landlord, once you're an owner, once you have this ownership, especially as a black person,
Right.
you make the rules, right?
Yep.
So just think about the kind of like, or you might know people who can't qualify because of their record or this and the third, but you know that they probably cleaned up, but they just
They
can't
can't
get
get it.
qualified.
Yep.
You offer this opportunity, right? So now the money is staying in the community. It's just a whole. You just gotta think bigger, man. People gotta start thinking bigger.
Yeah, and B, he when I don't know if he's still doing it, but when COVID first started, he let all of his tenants not pay any rent at all. And I know he had did it for at least 3 or 4 months. So that's
See?
like 4 months of people in Memphis that did not have to pay any rent at all. So, like there's stuff like that people don't think about. Just like you said, with ownership, you make the rules. So if him doing something like that was great. That was all those families. They didn't have to pay anything. It helped them out during COVID. We make the rules. It's nobody else does. So that's the thing. Like when you don't own anything, you don't make no rules. Like somebody tell you to go, you gotta go. Like
Yeah,
that's just really how it is.
yeah,
You renting from somebody else, and they're like, oh, I want to sell it, or they just don't want to rent out to you no more. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do it. Especially if you
yeah.
black.
You can even do seller finance. Like you can be the bank. Like
Yep.
there's just so many. You open up so many opportunities with ownership, specifically black ownership, and it's just I just want more people to, get into it. So if you own a real estate, owning stocks, owning whatever you want to own your business, whatever you do it and do it good, cause it's gonna happen anyway.
Yep, yep. And Rufus, he asked, do you have to have a license to buy out of state? You don't need a license to invest at all. Nobody can stop you.
Mm-mm.
There's no license required. You don't need a license to invest in real estate.
Yeah, look up on YouTube people buying properties from a whole different state. Like people do it all the time. Like literally, they buy properties. They do a virtual tour. They
Hmm.
sign paperwork. They get sent to their phone, DocuSign or whatever you use, and there you go.
Yeah, yeah. The process of buying homes out of state or it's way easier now because of technology. Like before, maybe 15, 20 years ago, it was a hard process, but now just like you said, it's easy. Like you can see the properties. Most properties they'll probably have like online viewings of it. You can see the whole thing. You can find a team out of in that area that you're trying to invest into. So like you can find a real estate agent, your construction team, like whoever you need, property manager, you can find all that. And then like just like you said, when it's time to sign the documents, they just send it over via DocuSign and that's it. So it's much
Yeah,
easier now. But if you I wouldn't suggest somebody buying out of state until like you do your research. Like you have to do your research, you have to build your team, you got to be ready. And then like when you're looking for investment properties, make sure you're dealing with a realtor that deals specifically with investors, not a realtor that's looking to that only deals with people buying residential homes. Look for a realtor that specifically works with investors, because then like she knows what you're looking for. Well, you tell her what you're looking for, but like they're more familiar with how investors work and what they need.
yeah, and getting good because I have a real estate lady back in
Mhm.
Fayetteville, and like she'll send me property like this one ain't on the market yet. I want to send it to you real quick. What you
Yeah,
think about this? Like get it, like make these I don't want to say
connections.
relationships, but yeah, network. Like
Hmm.
build your team, like you said, build your team because it's that simple. Like here I am, another state. I'm still getting messages like, hey, what you think about this? I can go to it for you, send you a video. Like what you need me to do.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, yeah. Building a solid team is everything. Yeah. Somebody said in Aisha's words, own some shit. Yep. You gotta own some
Yeah,
shit. Anything, stocks, hopefully some real estate. Own some shit like cars. They're okay. It helps you get from point A to point B, but it's not gonna help you financially unless you're renting them
yeah,
out like on Turo or hire cars. So like cars, really not so much. But yeah, don't it's good to own cars, but it's not like it's going to help you really get to where you need to be at. But like
yeah. Do that after you get to where
assets,
you're trying to be at. Like do
yeah,
that after. Cause you buy a car and you try to buy a house, they're gonna be like, "Oh, baby,
Yeah.
yo, you gotta wait a couple months because you just bought a car." So think about it like that. That you signed off on what, $60,000 entry luxury vehicle.
Yep.
You could have bought an investment property with that. Like
Yep.
you could use the money from that investment property to pay your car note.
To pay the
So
car note. Yep.
it's not the other way around. So
Yep.
sometimes you
Use your
gotta we
assets to pay
always
for
talk about delayed
liabilities.
gratification. We always talk about delayed gratification, and that's why
Yeah.
people need to practice delayed gratification. The fancy cars look cool and stuff like that, but they're not paying you. So,
Nope. Nope.
and they
Later.
don't last forever.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. They don't for sure. Yeah, you got to get that cash flow. I be pushing off stuff for a long time. I've been pushing off a lot of stuff. Like you just delay it. People ask me why you don't have this, why you don't have that. Like, I mean, I don't really need it. Like, I get it when I get it, but my main thing is just like you said, having my assets pay for any like liabilities, any toys, any just BS. Like my assets could pay for that. My cash flow pay for that. Not my like the money
Yeah,
that I'm working for every day at work. Like I don't even need that.
yeah. I literally like my
What's
whatever I
up,
do.
Hugo?
I have streams that go toward this. Like
What's up, Dio?
it's almost automated at this point. Like I do not like to use my own money to buy stuff if I don't have to. Like I will find another resource, another stream before I do that because you're gonna end up with no money.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk
Like
about that
you,
real quick. Like, so, Portia, she wanted me to talk about it, but like, we could talk about it real quick. I don't know if you saw like, Lil Duval. He was like, I don't use credit for nothing. I pay everything cash. Like, the thing people don't get, like, so it was also on Twitter too. Somebody was like, if you got $1 million, why would you finance a house? Or like Mark Zuckerberg, he financed a $6 million house. Because it's
zero percent.
because you want to leverage your money. Like,
Mm.
why would you want to put $6 million into a property that is not going to make you any money every month? You can take that $6 million and invest it, and the interest rates are so low. Like, they're
It's a
basically
free
it's free
loan.
money. Yeah, it's a free
It's
loan.
a
You're not
free
paying nothing for it
loan.
in interest.
Yeah. So yeah, use that money that you would pay in interest and invest in something else that would make you money, and then there you go. So it really
Yeah,
don't matter because you're not paying for it anyway. Something else is paying for it. Like I don't like spending my own money. I'll be the first one to tell you.
yeah, like
I will
unless
throw it
I'm trying
away.
to invest it, like if it's an investment, cool. Like I'm gonna send it out. But if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
I am not trying to drop like people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a house all cash, I'm gonna buy like a $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 car all cash. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Mm,
Because like
mm.
that same money you put into that car, you can take that same amount of money, put it into the stock market and make way more money. Like, so if y'all check my
Yeah,
Twitter after this, I'm gonna retweet a video where this guy he actually explains the whole process. Like he buys like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and stuff like that, and he explains his process. Like I don't buy any of this stuff cash. Like I put some money down, but the rest of the money like that he actually could buy cash, he puts it all into stocks. And like he shows how much money he makes. He's like, I put this money into stocks instead, and I ended up making $300,000. So instead of me just
yeah.
losing the money, I made $300,000.
Yeah, I plan on living when I retire because I said I wasn't gonna retire because I felt bad, but forget this. When I retire, like I'm building my portfolio to the point where eventually I'll be living off my dividends. Like right now, I reinvest my dividends.
Yeah.
My kids they have dividend paying stocks in their portfolio, so they they're reinvesting in there. So by the time I'm ready to be done with, oh no,
You're
I'm
gonna have
gonna
money
use
coming
some of
in
those
all
and
kind of
live.
ways. Like that's the
Yeah,
goal. Have money
exactly.
coming in all kind of ways. You're not
And
really
everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Like anybody can do it. You just you gotta focus.
right. Yeah, you got to be focused, and you just have to get started. That's what it is. Like, don't focus on like I said, what everybody else is doing. You just get started. You focus on what you're doing, and you figure out, okay, how can I go from if I'm not making any money passively? How can I go from where I'm at right now to making $100 a month passively? Just
Yeah.
start out with $100. Like, what can I do to make $100 a month passively? Start
Look, when I
there.
was active duty, I just wanted money. Like I wanted streams of income. So I was like writing people's resumes. I took a part-time job working somewhere else. Like whatever I could do to increase so I can do more then. Because I'm not gonna have the same energy later on. Like the energy I had at 18, oh that's gone. That's long gone. But the energy that I had, I used it, I made money, I invested it, and I'm in a whole different like area of my life now. And I'm so thankful because that time goes by fast. I
Mhm.
know we say, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years. But just think about it. Like, how long have you been out of high school for? If you're out of high school, if you're watching this, how long have you been out of high school for? How fast did that
I've
time
been
go
I've been
by?
out for 10 years. I'll be like, how's it
You
been 10
see?
years?
Exactly. It goes by so fast. So it might be hard, like starting out with, but once you just get in a routine, it's almost like clockwork. And then you're gonna thank yourself in 10 years. You're gonna be like, thank me.
Yeah. What's up, D? What's up, Jess? Yeah, so what people don't get is the time's gonna pass anyway, right? So it's like,
Yep.
oh well, I missed the boat or everybody else is ahead of me. Like your time is gonna pass. Like, so you might as well get started now. And in 5 years, you're gonna look back and say, dang, I'm glad I got started. Now I'm making $1,000 a month passively. Now I'm making
Yeah.
$2,000 a month passively. And
Exactly.
eventually you'll make enough money to where you don't have to work anymore. Like if that's your
Hmm.
goal, you don't have to work or you're not going to be stressed about work. Like you'll have money coming in passively every single month.
Yeah. And another thing, just think about like our parents or your guardians or, who raised you. How many times have you heard them say, dang, I wish I would have invested in this when I was younger? Like, let's break
This
that
is now for
cycle.
us. That's now for
Yeah,
us. Tesla,
exactly.
Zoom, Neo, all of that stuff. Like any of these stocks where like you're like, dang, this is a good company, but it's already too high. Look, a lot of these stocks out here, they're gonna be thousands of dollars. Give it
Yeah,
give
look
it
at
another five,
Amazon.
10 years. They're gonna be thousands of dollars. And you're gonna be
Just
like,
look
I
at
wish I would have put my
Amazon.
money in.
Yeah, because $100, like I told somebody, I remember, I would never forget. I said, look, I know you want to go buy a new car and get some shoes, but buy a Tesla stock. Just one, at least one. They was like, no, it's too expensive. That jump shot up to like 1,700, and he was like, dang, I wish I would have invested in Tesla. I'm like,
Yep. Could
I
look,
told
and
you.
I'm tired of people saying stocks are expensive. A lot of people don't know this, but they're fractional shares. That's what I'm all
Yeah.
about, right? Fractional shares. It like I said, it don't matter how much money you put in, it's the percentage, right? So
Hmm.
the shoes that he bought, he could have bought a whole share, or maybe it was like a little bit more than a whole share, right? He could have bought a fraction of the share, maybe like 80% of a share, and like it went up. Tesla ended up almost doubling in 3 weeks. Like when I started telling people like, yo, the split's coming, put your money in. Like I was telling people, put your money in, split's coming, right? Nobody was listening. People were like, oh, it's too expensive. It doesn't matter. The fractional shares, you could have put $100 in a Tesla, you'd have had $200 3 weeks later.
Yeah,
That's investing. That's like
exactly.
that's 100% return. That's why it's about the percentages. Like if you want a larger number, you got to put more money in, but you got to work up to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like people see my they'll see my plays or whenever I used to talk about it at least, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did you get here?" But like this has been what 6 years now, so this is 6 years to now. Like just it's just I had to build myself up. My very first investment was like $50, y'all. $50.
What's up, Josh?
So
Yeah,
I
like,
need to
and that's
say,
it. Like, you start out small. Like, that's why I tell people, look, just get on M1, get on
yeah,
Robinhood, WeBull, whatever. I'm gonna put out a blog post too, so y'all look out for that, so y'all can get on there. Like, get onto these platforms and just start small. Put like $20 in, see what happens. Like, find a stock you're interested in, put $20 in, see what happens, right? Just so you can
hmm,
learn how stuff works, because everything sounds easy till you get on there and you're like, what's a limit order?
yeah,
What's a stop limit?
yeah,
Buy, sell, what's the ask, what's the bid? You don't know. So get on there
hmm.
and just get some experience and see what's really going on, just with a little bit of money. Chanel, you were saying
And you don't mess up.
Palantir or Snow, both Palantir and Snow are going to be major companies, like major companies. I can guarantee you Palantir will be $100 within the next
That's
few
in my
years.
kids' portfolio.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, those are all good stocks. So how do we determine what to sell and what to hold?
I
Honestly,
never sell.
yeah,
No.
exactly. Like that's why I use M1. People are like, why you use M1? Like that's my long-term whole portfolio. That's why I said generational wealth. I don't plan on ever selling those stocks in there unless it's like I bought it and I was like, I don't really think I want this no more. But
It's
like,
very rare though.
yeah, it's
Because
very
when you buying
rare.
stocks for your long-term investment, you're doing research. You're not
Yep.
just like, oh, let me add this. Like you're doing research before you add these. And
Yeah.
another thing is like I don't look at my long-term investment portfolio every day. That's gonna mess you up too in the beginning because you can be like,
Yep.
oh, it's down. Let me sell. Like
Yep.
no. Don't do
Yeah, when
that.
it comes to long-term investing, it really don't matter what's going on in day to day. All you really need to do, I would probably check it maybe like once every quarter. That's really about
Hmm.
it. Like, has anything changed in the company to where you don't think it's going to be good anymore? But I mean, if you were doing your research, it shouldn't have change that quickly unless you end up buying to a scam company like Nicola. That was a scam. So, if you bought something like that, then yeah, a lot of stuff changed very
Yeah.
quickly. But yeah, like that's really what it is. And then when you determine what to sell, like if you're trying to sell, like it's about your plan. Are you trading or are you holding long term? Or are you doing both? Like, do you have a portfolio for long term holds? And do you have a portfolio for just trading and swinging stocks? So for me, I use M1 for long term holds. For like swings and trades, I'm using Robinhood and WeBull. So that's what I do for like deciding what's going to be held long term. And if I'm selling, right, like you're supposed to be buying it when it's low, and then when it goes up, like you feel like it's going up enough, you want to get out, you can sell it. Yep. Yeah, Josh said emotional intelligence helps with long-term investing, and that's true. Like you have to be emotionally intelligent, and really,
Yeah.
if you don't know what that is, read the Intelligent Investor. I don't know
Hmm.
who it's by. I forgot his name, but the Intelligent Investor. Again, I'll put out a blog post, so look out for that. I have all this information in there, so y'all can look out for that. Yeah, Palantir has billions of dollars in government contracts. Like it's a no-brainer. Like I'm telling you, that stock is a no-brainer. The company is a no-brainer. But December 31st, their lockup period ends. So basically, what that means is people at the company they can sell their shares starting December 31st. So I'm expecting for there to be a pullback because like if they want to sell, they can sell on the 31st. So I think a lot of people might sell. So I plan on
Can
just
you
buying
buy
more.
more?
Yep. Just buy more. I don't even worry about it. I just buy more.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all. So you have anything else you want to say, Alexxus? Where can people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Everything is Alexxus SH. My website is under construction, but you can sign up for my email list at axalexxus.com. ALEXXUS. I know it's different. But yeah, sign up there and I'll start sending out information, especially for my bets. I'm coming out with the holiday guide, so you stop spending money on bullshit this Christmas
You
and
coming out with
actually
a
get
holiday
gifts that keep
guide?
on giving.
Yeah. Wait. Can
Yeah,
you talk about that real quick? Because I think you said on one of your tweets like
yeah.
you don't buy regular gifts for Christmas. You do something else. What do you
Nah.
do?
Yeah, so like for example, I have kids, right? And kids are very destructive, okay? And I there's just I really hate seeing people go into debt buying toys. So
Mm,
I go to the Dollar Tree. I go right to the Dollar Tree and I buy these little toys and I spend the majority of our money on I invest in their stocks. We might take like a family trip. My stepdad's birthday just passed by, so I opened up him a Fidelity account with some Starbucks shares in it because he drinks Starbucks every day. So I'm like, might as well be invested in it, right? So
yeah.
I'm just gonna come out with a guide to really help you like stop spending your money on bullshit for real. Like the gifts that keep giving. You're not gonna look back at this January 1st like, dang, I spent all these money on these toys and they all broken, you know? So
Right.
that's
Yeah, that's a big thing that I never really got. Like people, I understand you want to give your kid a great Christmas, but they're like usually they're young, they're not gonna remember. Just like you said, they break it or they get over it really quickly. So it's like, why are you going into debt for Christmas? Like
yeah, I
it
hate it.
just to me it just doesn't make sense. Like you can get them something and then like, but just spend quality time. Even with what you were saying with the stocks, like now I've been buying my dad stocks for every Father's Day. I buy him a stock, and each stock I
Hmm.
bought him so far has at least doubled in value. I ended up buying him AMD
See?
2 years ago. Yeah, so AMD's up like 400%. So I buy him some. I
Hmm.
bought him some AMD stocks. I bought him $100 worth. It's up 400%. I bought him Peloton. That's up like 300%. Like, I mean, I just buy it and it just sits there, right? So it's
Yeah.
not anything crazy. And then like I can transfer it into his brokerage accounts, but I just haven't done it yet. So, but I mean, it's his. It's just sitting in my Robinhood. But yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. I don't think you should have to go into debt to show somebody you love them. Like that's just me.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. I
That's
agree.
just
You don't
me.
need to do that at all. Ethan asked, how easily can you gift shares? It's really easy. Like I would say, first thing to do is, well, it doesn't really matter. Like you can buy the shares first in your account, and then just tell them like, hey, or ask them what is your brokerage account? Who's your brokerage? And you can transfer the shares, I believe, over to them. I think you could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you could do that. I know you could do it for yourself, but I'm pretty sure you could do it for other people too.
Yeah, I do it for my kids. I can literally like move over. Like I moved over a shared Amazon to my daughter for her birthday. I just
Yeah,
passed, so it's just like Josh. I think it was Josh said babies need art. Yeah, my stepdad he
my
gets the
baby.
kids. Yeah, he invests in art for the kids. That's his thing. So art's not my thing because I don't be knowing like is this a scam, is this real? So I'm gonna stay out of that. But yeah, that's like people have to get creative with them. You can get creative. Like there's a lot of things that you would be surprised that are assets or will be assets. So
Yep. Like those back there, those cars, those are assets.
yeah,
Those have doubled in value since I
exactly.
bought them. So if I wanted to sell them, I
Wow.
could. Yeah, like immediately as soon as I bought them, doubled in price. So like they're assets, and they're just going to continue to go up over time. Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff. People they don't really realize, art, um, art like bots. I think bots are going to keep going up over time, but like it's a lot of things. Shoes, like if you buy the shoes,
Yeah.
don't wear them.
Even
Obviously, like,
cards.
yeah, they gonna
Like
keep going
trading
up.
cards and stuff like that. Like who knew? Like
Yeah,
I
the
threw away
trading
all my
cards.
Pokemon cards. I'm pissed. I'm like, what
Look,
the
I'm trying to find my Pokemon cards. I don't know where they are. Like, I don't know where my
Yeah.
Pokemon cards are. I had a bunch. Honestly, I think I threw them away. Last thing I remember saying was, like, I looked them up on eBay. I'm like, damn, let me see if they worth something. It's been like 15 years. Still weren't worth anything. So I'm like, man, I was like, these shits ain't never going to be worth nothing. I'm pretty sure I threw them away. Because I was like, it's been 15 years, still not worth nothing. But I had all the holographics, so missed out for sure. But
Mhm.
yeah, Chanel, I have like Pokemon cards that I just bought to resell, but I still haven't even resold it yet. Like I'm a lazy reseller. I buy some shit and it's gonna sit there for a while because I got a lot of stuff going on.
Facts.
Oh, Josh, he said buy your kids shares of livestock. They're insured and you always get paid. So I'm gonna have to bring Josh
Oh.
on here. He's busy and he's injured. So whenever he's ready, I gotta bring Josh on here. We can talk about that. But yeah. If we don't have anything else to talk about, if nobody has any other questions, thanks everybody for coming on to another Finance Fridays. If you need help with your finances, financial literacy, check out my book, Financial Starter Kit. And then, like I said as well, if you're a professional and you're trying to learn how to make six figures and create passive income, my 100K year program is open now, so you can learn more information about it at join.your100kyear.com. And any links for me, you can find my links in my bio. And then for Alexxus, definitely go follow her. And I'm pretty sure she has all her links in her bio as well.
Yeah, my links are in my bio. Sign up for my email list because that's where all my good stuff goes first.
Yeah, email
Don't want to
list.
miss
We
out.
all the free game goes to the email list. Same for me. Like get on my email list. That's where all the free game is. Besides, when I come on here. So yeah, thank you. Thanks again. Thanks for coming out. Bye.